Hello, I'm Michael.
I'm Justin.
We're Bear on the keyboard, and this is
A Bar Rant.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bar Rants. Of course, if you're a longtime listener of us, you know that we like to podcast. We like to do shit like that. We like to just sit around and drink beer and talk. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's absolutely what I like to do.
And we decided that we were going to get back into it because we kind of missed the aspects of just being able to sit across from each other and just talk to each other about shit.
The shit.
But we're going to keep it a little more tightly focused than our previous rambling attempts. So today we have one topic of discussion, and one only: Quidditch.
Okay. Sure. Quidditch? I'm sorry, wait. I just said it. I was just going along. You said, I said, sure, Quidditch. Quidditch. You said Quidditch?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, bet. Let's go.
Quidditch, the, of course, made-up fantasy sport that J.K. Rowling invented for her series Harry Potter.
I was going to say sport, but then I didn't say anything because I'm like, can I call it a sport?
I mean, strictly speaking, it's feats of athleticism that occur. So, yeah, I mean, it's sport.
Flying around on a broom?
Is that not a feat of athleticism, if you will,
It's definitely
too?
a feat. Well, no, there's no feet involved.
So let's break down through the basic rules
let's talk
in layman's
about-
terms. So I'm not a huge Harry Potter guy. I don't know a whole ton about the lore.
You might
but
be a huge guy, and that's...
I'm a large man. That is true.
Okay, thank you. I was like, that's not like a weight
I'm not taking a
joke.
shot at you right now.
No,
Yeah.
but as far as Harry Potter, I also like I read the first book. It was rough. I've watched like 3 of the movies, maybe 4.
I'm literally the opposite. I've read like the first 3 books, and then like I think I watched one of the movies, and that's like it.
I'm not entirely sure on all of it. Like, but I know enough because you can't live in this world that it exists in and not know about it.
Yeah, Harry Potter has become this huge fandom, obviously.
It's like someone who's like, I've never seen Star Wars. It's like, I know you've never seen it, but you know.
But you're aware of it,
Yeah,
exactly.
like you know it exists, and you get some of the references, whether you want to or not.
Yeah, 100%. And so, like, even with like Bear on the Keyboard, our live stream and stuff, I've played Quidditch World Cup, actually the GameCube game, which I got for dirt cheap, by the way.
Yeah.
It was a used copy that
Why'd you get it for dirt cheap? Probably because it's shit sport.
Probably because
maybe.
it's a shit sport. We'll talk about that.
I
We'll
don't
circle
know.
back around to that. But I got it for dirt fucking cheap, and that was with case and manual. It was like a complete. It was used, but it was complete. And I was like, okay, bet. And I think it was less than $10 I spent on the damn thing. So it was fun. It was a fun little thing to play. But as I played it, I noticed there was these issues with the sport, which are some of the things I think people have already discussed. But there are some things that are probably might be a little bit new out there, more opinions.
Maybe not. Here's our take.
Yeah. So layman's terms about Quidditch is effectively that there are these 3 different types of balls. One is a quaffle, and then I believe there are 2 beaters, and then, or not beaters, 2 bludgers, and then there is 1 golden snitch. And they are released at the same time into the middle of a large oval playing field, and then kids on broomsticks, or adults as the case may be, on broomsticks fly around and try to do different things with them. So the bludgers are enchanted to attack whomever is closest to them, regardless of what team they are on. The quaffle is this like hexagonal. It's almost like a dodgeball, but it has flattened sides, so you can get a better grip on it. And that's actually enchanted so that it falls slower, so that you can do more passes and more acrobatic stuff while it's in midair. And then
Mid-air acrobatics upon a flying broom that you're controlling,
Yes.
which does take some work to do. You have to mentally be able to, and physically be able to, if I remember correctly, on maintaining a broom and flying upon it in this world.
you have to have those thick thighs. You got to have those thunder thighs to keep a grip on that thing.
Everyone
Because
remembers Harold with them thick thighs.
yeah, Harold Pothead in the Chamber of Thick Thighs. No, so this quaffle is basically like the basketball. They're trying to shoot it through these different hoops and make points that way.
A basketball, soccer ball, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want to call it. They're shooting a ball
Hand
through
soccer.
goals.
It's football.
It's hand soccer in the air. Yeah, effectively. But with different goals.
It's like 7 goals or whatever.
There's 3 per side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 6.
Yeah, 6 total. Yes. And there
I said
is
7. I'm sorry. I just said number I like.
And there's finally the golden snitch, which is approximately walnut sized and is very fast and hard to catch. And once you catch the golden snitch, your team is awarded 200 points, and also the game stops at that point. There is no time limit to this game. It stops upon capturing the golden snitch. There are 7 players on each team. I believe there are 2 beaters, 1 goalie who's a keeper, and then
3 chasers, 1 keeper, like you said.
Yep.
2 beaters.
2 beaters, 3 chasers, who are the people who are trying to score goals with a quaffle, which are worth 10 points each. And then there is 1 seeker.
Quaffle, 2 bludgers.
Yeah, bludgers, not beaters, bludgers.
Bludgers.
No, the bludgers are the balls.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Wait, there's the quaffle, the bludgers, and the snitch. Those are the different balls.
Correct.
Right, so you got 3 chasers, 1 keeper, 2 beaters, and 1 seeker. So, yes, you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah.
Yeah, 7 players on each side. One of them, the keeper, effectively acts as a goalie. The, what are they called? Chasers are the,
the 3 chasers.
What like the forwards, effectively, if you'd call it in basketball terms, or I don't know what they call it in soccer. Strikers in soccer, I believe that's a thing.
In soccer, they've got like really cool names, like
like striker, for example.
like winners. You get like fucking 2 fucking points in soccer, and your team wins.
Yeah.
Like, that's why they got badass names in soccer.
That's fair. Yeah, that's true. So for this, though, I think the main issue that people have a problem with is the fact that the game is not timed like it is with soccer, and that capturing the golden snitch not only awards your team an inordinate amount of points, but it also makes it so that the game stops at that point exactly when your team scores points, which causes an entire balance issue with the game. And I've heard, at least, and I don't know if this is just anecdotal or not, but I've heard that J.K. Rowling did that on purpose to kind of fuck with people.
Yeah, I mean, this is something we have discussed before, and you mentioned that you had looked into and found out that it had to do with a boyfriend she was.
Yeah, I believe it was a boyfriend at the time. Yeah,
at the time
yeah.
that she was with, and she was working on writing up this sport, and she was like looking for different things. She pitched the idea of the golden snitch, and he's like, "Oh no, that's terrible. I hate it. People that like sports wouldn't like it." And she was like, "I'm just gonna leave that shit in," to kind of just be like, to troll people, as the world knows it nowadays. And it's like, well, that's fucking hilarious. And I'm like, kudos to you. This sport is the best sport ever made, but also the worst, because fuck you. I hate that. I do hate it. I love the joke. If that's the case, way to go on the joke. But seriously, so yeah, I don't like the snitch at all. Snitches.
It's even something that, according to, I did a little bit of research into the lore of Quidditch, and I found out that that was not one of the original balls used in Quidditch. That apparently a snitch is a small magical bird that's very hard to capture, and during one Quidditch game, like 1,000 years ago or some shit, some fucker released one of those birds and said like 1,000 gold coins, or 200, I believe it was 200 gold coins, because it equals the number of points. 200 gold coins for whoever catches it, and the game quickly progressed into nobody playing Quidditch anymore, and everyone trying to get the snitch. Yeah,
and it's like, cool. So the game isn't fucking the game itself; it's just catch the snitch. And everything you're doing prior to that, like the game of Quidditch, should just be called get your snitch.
Yeah.
And everything you're doing before that is just theatrics before the snitch arrives.
Effectively, yeah.
You're trying to weaken your team, tire your team out, your opponent's team out.
Sure.
In the meantime, and confuse them, waiting for a snitch to appear. Once it appears, you're like, boom, on it, and it's just about fucking get your snitch.
Now, there are certain rules, though, in Quidditch that make the snitch even more pointless. There are certain fouls described.
It's 200 points. Keep going.
Yeah, but there are certain fouls involved that make it even more pointless. Apparently...
Nice, it's a bird-related thing you just said.
Yeah, foul with a W. There are there's hundreds of fouls in the game of Quidditch apparently, but only a handful of them are listed by name in some of the auxiliary material for Harry Potter. And one of them is effectively anyone who touches the golden snitch, who is not a seeker, is a foul.
Correct.
So you have one person on each team who is supposed to catch this thing that decides the entire game effectively.
Yeah.
Which makes it even more pointless. Because if you're just trying to tire each other out, hitting each other with the bludgers, right? The beaters have these like little fucking baseball bats, like mini bats, basically,
right.
that they smack the bludgers into other people. The quaffle players are doing their things, and the chasers rather are doing their things with the quaffle.
There's 4 different events happening, but
Yeah.
also even with that, I gotta say, like, they can still tire the seeker out. As long as the seeker's not being protected, they can tire the seeker out.
Yeah.
By bludgeoning or whatever it's called.
100%, yeah.
I imagine it's called bludgeoning. If they're called bludgers.
Bludgers. And the people who mostly deal with them are called beaters. And I imagine it's bludgeoning, yeah.
So yeah, like, I feel like you still can tire out the seeker in that aspect, but keep going on what makes it more pointless. 'Cause I feel like, does that make it more pointless that only one person can get it? No, that makes it just so it's like, it's refined to just, not everybody can just go for it and get it. It's a matter of trying to put on this theatrical show.
Right.
And also keep your seeker healthy and okay, who also has to participate in the game. Is that right?
I'm pretty sure the seeker's entire job is to look for the golden snitch.
They just fly around and look for it? Like,
yeah, it's very fast and hard to spot. So yeah. You got to have good eyes and you got to be nimble.
But they don't spend any time like
I've never, like, I've read, like I said, the first 3 books, and I don't recall Harry Potter ever touching a quaffle.
Really?
He's never made like a shot as far as I know.
Interesting. So he's bad at the sport. That isn't the sport.
Right. He's bad at one of the aspects of this sport, which are 3 different sports in one.
Right. He's bad at the one of the 2 theatrics for this 3-sport event that happens all at once.
Yeah. And making a goal is worth 10 points, and on average you're going to get 10 to 15 goals total made by both sides.
15 times 10, that's 150 points. That is 50 points shy of what the snitch gives you.
What the snitch is worth, exactly.
So you got to get gooder, apparently.
And I
beat the snitch.
Like, I understand that. So, again, all these
and
fouls.
And also shut them out. Like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. So all these fouls aren't listed, right?
Sure.
But they're, from what I saw at least, I didn't see any foul that had anything to do with putting everyone on defense on your team, while the seeker and maybe a couple of the chasers, right, look for the golden snitch, because the chasers can look for it and be like, "Yo, it's over here," right? To the seeker, as long as the seeker is the one who touches it, it doesn't matter who's looking for it. Correct?
Everyone can see it. It exists.
It exists. Of course, you can see it.
Yeah, like that's and obvious.
Foul. Chaser saw the golden snitch.
Foul.
There's supposedly hundreds, so maybe.
Chaser's mom's best friend notified that the snitch is out and about. Like, yeah, no, it exists, so everyone can see it, and communicating that isn't against the rules either, right?
Yeah, from what I understand, yes.
Yeah, the one's like, oh, it's over there, because how do you not communicate that? The crowd is going to go wild once anyone in the crowd notices the snitch.
Yeah, naturally, yeah, of course.
Because that's all they're there to see.
Yeah.
They're pretending like they give a shit about the theatrics, which would be fun to watch. You'd be like, oh, cool, yeah. And then this thing shows up, and you're like, yeah, oh, there's the thing that decides everything.
Yeah, exactly. But now we're talking about we're going over the same fucking points that I think other people have.
Sure.
And I'm gonna bring up a point for the golden snitch.
Let's go.
Which is that in tournament play, apparently the number of points scored matters more than the number of games won.
Sure.
So how good your team is at the ball through hoop part of the game
matters. So those theatrics matter there, and you do want to gain those points, even if you can't win every game.
Yeah, because your total points is what progresses you on through tournament play.
Great, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I got 200 points, and your team got 30.
190 points or some shit. If let's say they're really good, there's really good
Got
fucking
190.
chasers on that team. Yeah.
Yeah. If your team every time catches the fucking snitch, though,
You're still going to be ahead of points
you're
points.
still going to be ahead in points because you're going to win every time.
Yeah.
No one's getting 200 points
Yeah.
in a game
No.
without catching it,
Right.
even if they manage to get 190.
There's literally one case in recorded history where the golden snitch was caught and it ended the game, and the team that caught the golden snitch lost the game.
Okay, so it is possible.
It's literally possible.
I mean, it's possible based
It's possible
off the
just
rules.
based off the rules. Yeah,
Rules
exactly.
is possible.
Yeah.
But there you go. I'm so cool. It exists in all of this, but you still do want to be well enough and good enough. I don't like it. That makes it a little bit more digestible.
Sure.
I don't like it.
So I think there's two ways to solve this problem.
Me too. Get rid of
Without getting rid of the golden snitch.
I was gonna say get rid of the goalposts.
Get rid of the goalposts. Just make it a snitch seeking. Just make it hide and seek. I like that. But I think there's two ways to make this while keeping the golden snitch and all the other rules in play.
Let's hear your thoughts on this.
One is just put a fucking time limit. Golden snitch is still worth 200 points. Once it's captured, that team gets 200 points, and the snitch cannot be recaptured. But there is a time limit.
The game's still going. It doesn't stop the game.
Does not stop gameplay.
And there's still the rest of the game to play. Or
because some of the, again, I looked into the lore a little bit. Some of the longer games have lasted days, and some of the shorter games have lasted seconds.
So, okay, but with that, also, or nobody catches it, the time limit runs out, nobody caught it.
Nobody caught it. So no 200-point bonus.
Whatever the score is, the score is.
Yeah, whatever the score is as far as people putting balls through hoops.
And nobody,
is
that
it.
golden snitch is gone forever because you can't reel it in. That
Yeah.
ball is lost. It's a magic world, and but it's lost forever. If nobody catches it, if a seeker doesn't catch it, you know what happens? It goes to the land of forgotten snitches.
Oh, that sounds sad. It's probably fun for them. They don't like getting captured, obviously.
I was going to say it's a land, and not an. I said land, not island.
Archipelago of golden snitch of lost snitches. The prison of lost snitches.
Oh gosh. You know, J.K. Rowling did write it, so yeah, it's probably like the oven of lost snitches. What?
But then I have one more idea too. Keep all the other rules the same. Remove the points from the golden snitch and make that so it just ends the game.
Have as many points as you can fucking get. Rack up points. Golden snitch happens. Fucking go catch that in that. We're ahead. We fucking winning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both of your ideas are fine ideas. Ultimately, I think the game itself is perfect in how it's been constructed because of how it works in tournament play and the possibility exists. I don't think we need to change anything about it. If I were an asshole, but which I am. But I like the idea of putting a time limit on it. Have your 200-point bonus. Which is a lot of fucking points for a bonus. It is difficult to capture, especially remember they're on brooms. And I don't know if you've ever flown a broom.
That actually brings up my second point about why the game is so unbalanced, not just in so golden snitch we talked about, lots of other people have too. It's one of the biggest flaws in the game. So we got that, ripped that Band-Aid off, got that out of the way.
Yeah.
But different brooms perform at different levels. And it's based almost entirely off of how much that person can afford. And sure, when you're playing on a professional level, it's the Quidditch World Cup. Your country is backing you. Your entire country, your nation, is supporting you financially, and so you probably have the best, whatever equipment.
Imagine what you can, but imagine how good you are as a fucking athlete if you have jack shit. You come from a Muggleland.
Muggleland, yeah. Okay.
And
it's definitely a real Harry Potter term.
You've got fucking what crab cheap brooms. I don't know how they speak. I don't know wizardry speech. But you got something that just is the least inexpensive, and you still just manage to catch that snitch every time. You're fucking the best fucking, what is it, the Seeker?
Seeker, yeah. Seeker catches the snitch.
You're the best fucking seeker in the goddamn world. You're doing it on a shit broom. Imagine if you're given the high quality broom. You might not even be able to do it. Be like, this broom's too fast. This broom needs to slow the fuck down. I'm too fast for this broom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you see my point where I'm
But
saying
no,
like
no,
there's
exactly.
an equipment gap.
The equipment gap
when it comes to money, and that doesn't matter as much on like World Cup level play.
You would think it doesn't.
You would think it doesn't, but different countries have different amounts of money.
I was
That's
going
true
to say
too.
it
Yeah.
still does. Look at our World
Look at the
Cups.
Olympics.
Look at the Olympics.
Yeah. Where the people who have the most money and training and stuff put into them are usually like there's a reason why America and China take a lot of the gold medals, right?
I mean, a lot of them, yes, but there's also other countries that take a lot of gold medals in other aspects because it's like we've focused on this because we pick a thing.
Yeah.
And we're really good at it.
Yeah.
It's ours, and we'll win this every time.
Yeah, I mean that valid point too. But I do think that the equipment gap needs to be brought up. That is, these are not people running around on foot. These are people using a machine, and these machines all have different stats that go along with them. Oh. And I mean, I guess one could argue that motorsports is the closest equivalent when it comes to this kind of stuff. But
so we've brought motorsports into this ball game.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's imagine baseball with go-karts, but you had to supply your own go-kart.
Baseball.
You, the player, each player.
Wait a second. This is like, no. This is...
Soccer with go-karts. It's fucking, what is that game called? The soccer with cars.
Oh, fucking.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Rocket League.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine Rocket League, but in the air.
Yeah.
And with more goals. Yeah. And also there's this like
and a bonus thingy.
Bonus defining end point.
Yeah, this end game thing that you also need to do in addition to all the other bullshit you're doing.
Yeah. To be the very best there ever was, you have to catch them all.
Yeah.
It's the only Pokemon you ever need to catch, and you need to catch them all.
This is fair.
Like I want to catch the golden snitch, but I want to catch all the golden snitches ever.
Yeah.
Like that's a greedy Pokemon trainer. Oh, you have EVs? That's the one Pokemon I have my life dedicated to.
Yeah, no shit.
It's like, what? That's kind of creepy. It's already a creepy idea, but that's kind of creepy. That makes it creepier.
Yeah. And so kind of rifling through the Harry Potter wiki, I did actually find that there's a broom regulatory control. Okay. And it's a part of the Department of Magical Transportation, which is in and of itself is a division of the British Ministry of Magic.
That was me a broom shitting out.
Oh, really? I thought it was just you responding to red tape.
There's that too. I fucking hate regulations. Bullshit. Punk rock for life. Yeah. Anarchy or whatever. I don't know anymore.
But there's never any mention of licensing requirements in order to use broomsticks, even racing brooms. The broom regulatory control might be responsible for regulating manufacture of magical broomsticks rather than policing their users. And that's the entirety of the article, effectively.
So it's basically saying whatever broom is fine.
Yeah, whatever broom is fine. And it doesn't even mention Quidditch in this article. So to me, it just speaks that you can use pretty much whatever equipment you have available to you financially. Yeah. And that will fuck people who are like, oh, I'm just like Harry. Was just some fucking poor kid who found out that he was magical, got admitted to Hogwarts, yada yada.
But Harry was a poor kid. He lived with a well enough, just a moderate.
Yeah, they were like middle class
family who hated him. He was poor because his aunt and uncle didn't like him, or they just were stuck with him, and they didn't like him. And so he lived as a poor child.
Yeah.
In a house around. The worst, like that, the writing of that, the description of that, very fucking poorly, like, written. If you were to read the words and how it flows, not well, but that's for a different time. He grew up in the worst sort of poor situation, right? Like, not only are you like, I shouldn't be poor, you guys have enough to like support me.
Yeah.
But you're taking me on as a burden?
Yeah, I mean,
and treating me as such?
Yeah.
And forcing me to just become the supervillain?
No shit. He could have easily been a supervillain, right?
He probably is a supervillain.
Deep down, yeah.
What happened to Voldemort? Was he?
We don't talk about Voldemort, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We don't say that name, bro.
What name?
Exactly. But yeah, so the whole non-standard broom thing, though, I think is a really weird thing. I found this article online that talks about it for a little bit, and it actually mentions it doesn't translate to other sports. It's like the equivalent of a hockey game where some people are using hockey sticks and others are using rulers taped onto tree branches. And I'm just like, yeah, no, sports strive to remove variables like that and just make it about what the person is capable of, and this doesn't do that.
Right. I mean,
like even when you look into motorsports, our previous example that we were talking about, motorsports still have like certain things that are allowed on your car and certain things that are not.
Oh no, motorsports not yes.
You can't just drive whatever compared to anybody else's whatever.
Everything has to meet all of the standards.
Yeah.
If you've got more money, it's just easier to get like certain things to have. You might have the best of those standards. Just because you don't have the best of that particular thing doesn't mean you can't make it work. You can't tune it up as long as it falls into the criteria and the regulations. That's the biggest part about that. Yeah. Money does make things easier, but in this world, which they introduced to you early on, again, if you've read anything of Harry Potter or watched anything, more realistically, watched anything of Harry Potter, money is a big aspect in the wizardry world. Just because you might be the best wizard doesn't mean that matters. If you've got great money, you will be a well-known wizard. Just it's a fucking look at society and how society be.
Yeah, I mean, that's all. Those are all fair arguments too. Like, even when you look in the context of motorsports, if you're like the son of the person who's one of the chief financiers of a Formula One team, guess what, motherfucker? You're probably going to be driving, regardless of your ability to drive a car or not. Yeah.
So and you'll probably be pretty good at it. Or if you don't have the ability to do it, you won't. They will be like, oh no, you can't fucking do this.
Yeah.
So you don't get to do that. You'll just take a different position in this racing team.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, that's all. Just somewhere else.
No big deal. But
still on the payroll.
Yeah, even still, like
Daddy's payroll.
Pop-Pop's payroll. Daddy doesn't have the company.
He signs the checks, Pop-Pop.
Yeah, Daddy doesn't have the company yet, but Pop-Pop's still, I'm still a part of it. He likes me better than Daddy. He hates his son. His son was a rebel. My father, who I also rebel against. That's why Pop-Pop loves me. Oh my gosh. Rich people are terrible.
Rich people are terrible.
Oh God.
Well,
damn.
I mean, do you have any things to round out this conversation about Quidditch?
So
I think we had some good. I think it's a stupid sport, but it has some potential. But obviously, we know that J.K. Rowling didn't give a shit about game design because she really wanted to just make her golden boy Harry Potter shine in his special little position, which was the Seeker, and that's the important part about it. It's from a literary perspective, makes a lot of sense.
So thank you.
Game balance and game design doesn't make any fucking sense.
So thank you. I was gonna say like ultimately what to round it up, I was gonna say like as far as writing a story for a character that is your hero and needs like this great hero arc.
Yeah.
Hero
moments at least,
those different moments to have these different things to really like spike your character, to bring them in that arc and get them to be your hero. He doesn't have those money. He doesn't have those money.
He doesn't have those money.
He doesn't have those money.
It's like Harry's rap single.
Which is why he's not a rapper. Because this is a bad title. The rest of it sucked too.
It's true.
But he's coming up from this shitty situation. He's just inherently supposed to be good because of who his parents were. As like he's got to follow in footsteps. Nobody likes him. He's just this outcast. It's like, how do you make that outcast shine even more, but also ostracize him? And it's like, oh, he's flying on dirt cheap shit. He's got shitty equipment. He gets that Seeker, or he gets that snitch. He's like the fucking golden boy of Seeking. It's like, yeah, literary stance, perfect. The rest of the sport around it literally doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You could just be like, yeah, he fucking...
She didn't even need to write rules, let's be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, she could have just described some crazy crap happening.
Shit happening, and
that would have even made it, actually, from a literary perspective, that would have made the whole thing a little more mysterious.
Well, yeah, because you would have let your imagine it. People would have written rules for it anyhow.
Naturally.
Which is probably why JK was like, no, I'm going to go ahead and like try and give some ground rules to this, which I'm sure other rules and fouls and all of that have been added to that JK has.
I have a list of named fouls, but I'm not going to talk about it
Yeah,
right now.
that literally have like JK never did or bothered with, and either has yayed, nayed, or been like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Because lore will build off of such great fandom. Or terrible fandom. However you want to
look. Yeah, whatever perspective you want to take on that. Yeah.
Off of fandom it will build. So I think that's fine. As a sport itself, if I'm looking at it just as a sport, I'm like, yeah, you've got some problems.
Yeah.
That kind of upset because I could be a poor guy that's really good at something, but I can't even afford a broom. That shit's
For real.
stupid. I'm so poor I can't even afford a broom. Like, what the fuck, man? How do I clean my house?
As just a really quick aside before we wrap this up,
Yeah,
too,
let's go.
I want to say, why are there extra numbers in sports scores?
Bro,
So
we were talking about this just the other day. Let's go. Bring it in. Bring it in.
All right. So in Quidditch, right, it's 10 points per goal and 200 points to catch the golden snitch. Why isn't it not 1 point per goal and 20 points to catch the golden snitch? Why do they have to have the extra 0? And like honestly, we were talking about this with like American football. Like, why do we have 6 points for a touchdown? And me and Justin love football. Obviously, we love NFL, gridiron football.
Yeah,
but we still have some issues with it.
unaware.
Where it's like, why can't it just be like a touchdown?
I got a touchdown. I got one of the touchdowns.
One touchdown, right?
Great. Way to
And
go.
especially if you remove the goalposts, which, let's be honest, they're a holdover. They're kind of ancillary. We don't really need goalposts. We don't need goalposts. We don't need to have field goals, and we can just go for it on 4th down or punt it. Still have punters. That's fine. Or get rid of the extra and also get rid of the extra point, not or. And
no,
also
there's
get
no
rid of the
or
extra
on
point.
this. The extra point thing. So look, I scored a point, and it's like, oh, here you go. Go again.
Yeah.
But right here, it's like, wait, what the fuck?
It's ridiculous. There's
Thank
weird
you.
scoring.
And if I run it, if I go for it again and run it in, and they can't stop me, I get 2.
It's silly.
Like the numbers
In soccer, you kick a goal. How many points is that worth?
get 1.
In baseball, you get a run. How many points is that worth?
1.
1, exactly.
You fucking in hockey.
Hockey, exactly. You get a
1.
goal. 1.
Basketball.
Now basketball, I kind
Shit,
of
they got multiple points.
basketball. I kind of understand though.
Why?
Because of distance. It's more difficult to make a 3-pointer than it is to make a
From
2-pointer.
where you're coming. So why?
And then that's also why there's 1 point for your your free
that
throws.
foul for
the fouled free throws. Yeah, exactly.
It actually makes the most sense for having multiple different scores. Basketball has the most sense making of a sport that has multiple different scoring on it. That I can look at right now. Curling might have.
There's lots of sports in the world.
Yeah, and
exactly.
curling might have some pointing in it that I don't understand, but will make sense.
True.
What's it called when you slide the thing across the sandy tops?
Shuffleboard.
Shuffleboard.
Yeah.
That's got a different scoring system too. That's same idea though with basketball. It's like a distance stopping.
With shuffleboard, it's sort of like darts, where it's like, what can you be? It's like you get more points per accuracy,
per
and that's the
precision.
same with basketball
But
too.
with basketball and then darts, and so that makes sense. With football, your accuracy is pretty fucking big for that field goal.
Yeah, it is.
But on top of that, why are you doing that? And then, therefore, we just made it into the end zone, and you're just giving us 6 points.
Yeah.
Dope. You don't have to catch up so hard, but you have options to catch up that hard because at 2 field goals, I get those 6 points. I'm there already.
Exactly. Yeah.
But also, I don't get a chance for extra points. Well, how do we reward you for making it in? And they could catch up by not doing the same thing as you did and still match that into 2 drives. We'll give you a chance to score extra points. Well, fucking stop it. Everyone slow down. You're too
Not necessary.
You're too hungry with points.
Yeah, it's point hungry. Exactly
It's
what
point
it is.
hungry. I think Yeah, talking about this right now makes me, it's just a point hungry system.
Well, there you guys have it. Bear on the Keyboard fixed Quidditch and football in one
if
fell swoop.
If you're not sure how we fixed it, listen to this like 3 or 4 times.
Run it back a couple times. Show it to your friends.
And then you'll understand exactly how we fixed it.
Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell for more bullshit like this. Until next time.
You know all of it.
Cheers.